What's up, cats and kittens? Ready for the... I'm gonna start over. Hey, cats and kittens. Why did I jerk my head like that? Welcome back, cats and kittens. You're watching... It's another half hour with the Half Brain Half Brothers.
I'm
So,
Craig.
and I'm the other guy, Al. So, I wanted to make a disclaimer since the last podcast, because it's been a few months since that came out, and we were just talking about Xbox and stuff. No, actually, we just recorded the last one. And, anyway, just wanted to give a disclaimer. I'm not very good at doing podcasts and talking on camera, so bear with me. And the opinions expressed and the enthusiasms expressed by me are just my own interests. Nothing, not saying like, hey, you should think that way or whatever. Just talking about things I like. That's all.
I think that was the most awkward way you could have done it. But I
Well, it
like
couldn't
it.
have. It couldn't have been anything but awkward.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just not really good at. I was mentioning this during the intermission, but I'll mention it to all you people, all four of you watching. Um, not fantastic at podcasts or being on camera. Um, definitely have a hard time psyching myself up for it. So it's just better to dive in and just try to do it because I personally don't have like a message to share or anything that I'm compelled to like tell anybody. I'm just here to hang out and do whatever it is that we do.
I know this is kind of out of the blue, but would you want to rank some cartoons?
Sure.
Let's do A through D. Because I don't know, it just popped in my head because I kind of was like, man, the Jetsons was a good show. Where would I rank that? Did you ever watch the Jetsons?
A little bit, not too much.
Where would you rank the Jetsons?
Well, um, I know that it's a classic. I know that it's one of like the good ones. So, but I don't have enough experience with it to really ranking because though I definitely watched it, and I definitely acknowledge that it's one of the classics, and it's better than something like I don't know Steven Universe or something. I don't have enough of a personal attachment to it to rank it.
All right, well, for me, I loved the show, Mr. Spacely. It was always really funny. The relationship between Jane and George was always pretty healthy, and I really like that when it comes to TV shows because a lot of modern TV shows they have to have some sort of problem going on in a relationship, a marriage, betrayal. Even a lot of kid shows today even have divorced parents, which is kind of cool because I mean, coming from our households where we didn't have a father, it's kind of cool to see that these days. But it's also kind of heartbreaking to an extent for me personally. I think I'd put the Jetsons around a C. It's a good classic, but I'm not sure how well it will hold up today.
Hmm. How about the Flintstones?
Oh, dude, B. It's a solid B. The only reason I say that is because it kind of falls off in later seasons.
Ah, yeah. See, I don't personally smoke Winston cigarettes, so I can't. I don't have that connection with the Flintstones, but they're still definitely up there. Yeah, I'll go with the B just for following you.
Now you got me interested. What do you think of Steven Universe?
Um, we don't have our alphabet that we chose doesn't go that far, so
Okay.
it wouldn't make the list. I mean, it would have to go the lowest. Did we choose D? Is that the lowest? It would go there for me, but it would go a lot worse. That doesn't belong on a list to me.
I would put it at the bottom of C. It's not the worst show there is because there's Clarence, which I'll get into Clarence in a little bit.
I rank Clarence the same as Steven Universe. To me, they're the same exact cartoon for what they are. So whatever ranking I'd give one, I'd give the other.
Okay, I would give.
I'd rank. To me, there's something I don't think people should watch. Whatever that ranking is.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think it has some good moments. It can be a good family show at times. There's it's cringy. that's where I'll say there's a lot of cringe and some.
Mhm.
I don't know how to put this. I'm not gonna get into politics or anything like that.
Well,
'Cause
that's just it. The fact that you said that says enough about it. It's political. It's a politically driven social comment, or not social. It's socio-political cartoon.
yeah, and I just
It's
want to leave it there.
yeah.
But so Clarence, I said A through D, but I'm gonna put it at an F. I hate that show. I hate the characterization of Clarence himself as a character. I think any other character on that show could have been a better main character. They just made him the most brain dead. He's so unapologetically just terrible as a person.
At first, and I mean really early on, I thought aspects of Clarence were kind of funny for what it was and for what it. I mean, it didn't have very good competition to begin with in the era that it was on Cartoon Network. Because it's not like it was on with Ed, Ed and Eddie or anything. So, I mean, it was up with like Steven Universe, I guess. So, yeah, but yeah, I quickly found out that Clarence was a not a good show for children.
Yeah, I definitely. It's something I wouldn't let my daughter watch. That's coming from a parent. I would not let my daughter watch Clarence. Steven Universe, maybe. Clarence, no. Solid, no. I don't know if you've seen it, but have you seen OKKO?
I've heard of it, and I don't think I've seen it.
I would say it's one of the best modern cartoons to ever come out. It is. I'm gonna put it B, slightly above Flintstones, but B. I think it deserves a B. And of course, I know people are probably know where this is going from our age range. We know what's going to be in the top tiers, but I give modern TV shows a lot more credit than like Amazing World of Gumball. Um, have you seen Amazing World of Gumball?
Yes.
I wasn't sure about it at the beginning, but the way the show ended and the whole like plot lines they weaved throughout it, I think it was amazing. Honestly, as a modern cartoon, I think it deserves an A.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on Gumball because and I have to say I'm too old to really watch it to get to know it as much now anyway, so I can't, you know, where am I going? Just I it was it's one that's easy to discount at first, but then after kind of seeing it a little bit more, I realized that they do satire pretty well in some spots, kind of like South Park. And it's just, but it's hard sometimes for me to understand where they actually stand, like which side they're actually on when they do their satire. So, and I haven't watched it enough to really be able to establish what point of view they're coming from because I'm just too old to to watch Amazing World of Gumball.
Yeah.
But I would rank it pretty high compared to what we've ranked so far.
Okay.
As far as cartoons that are on right now, it's probably one of the better ones. That's not saying a lot because there aren't many good ones
Well,
to me on.
it's not on anymore.
Oh, really? Because I see it on TV, like still
It's
on Cartoon Network.
it ended in 2018. It's all reruns now.
Ah, well, that's kind of what I mean, I guess. Because like, I mean, I know they're doing Checkered Past on Adult Swim, but other than that, they weren't even rerunning the classics for so long. But at least like Gumball was still on reruns for a long time.
Speaking of Checkered Past, what's your opinion on it?
It's cool. I'm glad that it's on. I mean, I don't actively watch it, but I put it on the background a lot, when it's on.
I love the fact that they brought back Checkered Past. It's kind of sad
Yeah, I wish
that
they had done it a lot sooner.
yeah, it's kind of sad that like that's what Boomerang was for, and now Boomerang's basically a second Cartoon Network.
Hmm.
But it's also kind of sad to see that Cartoon Network is now the smallest portion of that channel in general. Because now
Yeah,
Adult Swim owns most of the airtime.
yeah. And what really sucks is like no Family Guy now. Not that Family Guy is that good anymore anyway, but can't. It's not even an option now. 'Cause I don't
Really? I
have.
didn't know that.
It's not on Adult Swim. That was a long time ago, and it's not on TBS anymore. And it's not. I don't even think it's on regular Fox anymore. I think it's only on FXX.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't have Family Guy. I can't watch Family Guy. Um, and American Dad, which I for a long time I thought was way funnier than Family Guy anyway. I don't like it as much anymore. So like when I put on the TV, it's usually just for background noise,
Yeah.
and I still want to find something worth being on in the background. You know what I mean? And depending on what time I turn the TV on, it's slim pickings. It's usually The Office is almost always on, and South Park at certain times of the day is almost always on either on Comedy Central or Pluto Comedy Central, which are two different channels on Sling, which is what we can afford. So, so I can count on South Park, but I mean South Park all day long, all the time is kind of
Yeah, it
it's yeah.
gets a little much.
So, but I don't really like. I don't bother turning it to American Dad anymore when that's the other option because I'm just not as into it as I used to be. Um, King of the Hill is nice when that's on, but it's only on like once or twice a night if it's even on.
Have we even heard any more about the revival?
Not in a while. I haven't seen anything in a while.
I know the last thing I heard was they got some voice lines recorded for Dale's voice actor, and that's kind of all I heard.
So what's our next cartoon on the list?
Well, I think I kind of want to talk about South Park just because how much you love it, and thought it'd be kind of interesting.
So if I remember, South Park came out about 3 days after I was born, the same year, and I was literally watching it since the very beginning. Um, so it's definitely something I was familiar with my entire life, literally. Um, well, I mean, I guess I lived 3 days possibly without seeing South Park, but so it's one of the things I've been watching for the longest. But yeah, I like kind of what they're doing. It started to be a little bit like Gumball sometimes, where I can't completely tell which side they're really on when they're making fun of things with the satire. But at least they're pointing it out. I mean, at least they're pointing things out. It's one of the smarter shows, and it's easy for people who don't think very hard to discount that because of the profanity and the fact that there used to be toilet humor in it like 10 years ago. But I mean, South Park's changed a ton. It was kind of better with just some of the more basic toilet humor because they had a good blend of satire and toilet humor. Now it's kind of just all it's just constant like political stuff. But either way, so, I mean, South Park's definitely has integrity. No pun intended, because integrity, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I don't like about current South Park is how they've gone overboard with the integrity thing and the pot and stuff. Because I'm not a pot fan, and I don't advocate for more pot on TV. That's worse than toilet humor to me. I mean, is what's easier, making a fart joke or making a pot joke? I don't know. Ask Seth Rogen, and you'll fucking just get nonstop low hanging fruit pot references, and a lot of the time like pot jokes usually aren't even jokes. It's just reference pot because people like to see that on TV and they'll laugh anyway because oh he's talking about pot even if it's not a joke. So
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't get it. Never have. It always just uninterested me. I never found it funny. Normally, I'll sometimes even turn off a movie if it gets too. There's just too much pod jokes. I'm like, eh, you're not, you're not trying anymore. You're not.
yeah. Um. But what's another ranking cartoon? Well, we're still talking about like Cartoon Network cartoons, right? Really, like kids, like the ones that are for the kids.
Oh, sure, we can do that. How about Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
I rank that pretty darn high. I watch people do rankings on YouTube, so I know it's hard to like rank your first A because it's like, well, hey, I got a whole list to go through. I don't want to use up all my A's. but it could be an A. I mean,
I'm on the same boat with you. Do you have a favorite episode?
Jeepers, probably. Well, okay, one that because I don't want to just sit here and be quiet while I think. I'll say the I think the first Goo episode is something that I think kind of resonates more with me these days because now that I'm not a kid and I can see it and see it's just like, are you holding my hand? That just that just gets me now because yeah. Um, I don't know. There's just something funny about I don't know. And maybe it's nostalgic now because I can relate or something.
I have three favorite episodes. There's Uncle Pockets,
Yeah.
uh,
Yes.
the cheese episode, just because I
I
reference
I
that
was
all the
gonna.
time.
I love cheese. Cheese was done so well, especially.
Bunnies, hot rod flames, bunnies. I
I have braces. You found that on the ground, didn't you? Garbage can.
and the last one is the Jackie Cojones detective episode. I just
Yeah,
love it.
Foster's is good.
Yeah. So we're going with A, our first
Oh,
A.
oh yeah. I'm saying A, yeah. And I gotta say real quick too. Red.
Yes, red.
This will only hurt for a second.
I love him, man. Why didn't we? I forget. Why didn't we see him in more episodes? Did he go somewhere else?
I don't remember.
For some reason, I just got an image of him being hit by a bus and being driven away. I don't think
Well,
that's right.
something happened with the unicorns, but I thought it was more like a you killed Kenny thing where it's like he'll be back next week like nothing happened. But yeah,
um, I know we just put our first A, but you want to talk about Ed and Eddie? Wait, you don't like Ed and Eddie?
what?
Wait, who is it that doesn't like Ed and Eddie?
I don't know. It's not me.
I thought it was you.
I tried to emulate Ed and Eddie. I didn't know I learned what scam was from Ed and Eddie, and I didn't know it was immoral at the time. So I was like, I thought that was what it was called when you like, I don't know, like
Make
try to
money.
when you try to sell a good or service, as a child, like if you try to run a lemonade stand or something and try to get people to pay a quarter for a service. So like, I remember I went door to door at an apartment complex, when I was a kid. I was like, I had like a
Can I
little,
scam you?
I had a little guitar or something, and I was like, hey, like I'll play guitar for a quarter. And some lady was like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm trying to scam people. I'm trying to go around scam. I'm trying to go around scamming people. What's the problem?
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, Ed and Eddie's good. It's also there's hidden satire and really clever stuff in there that people don't necessarily see, which they don't have to see it because it's still entertaining and fruit fly funny either way. But
It's still so crazy how that show was made by a guy who had some of the most horrific cartoons made. I think was it Ludo the Butcher or Bruno the Butcher or something like that.
I don't remember.
Danny Antonucci. That show
How
was
about
a legend.
favorite episode or a favorite?
Ladies and gentlemen, 88 Fingers Edward.
Yeah. One of my favorites was always the one with they wanted to go see that movie, and they ended up in the junkyard. Ed was telling them about the movie on this robot planet and stuff the whole
Oh
time.
yeah.
They ended up in the junkyard, and then they're playing make believe with all this cool junk, and that was just really cool to me because it was like exactly what kids should be doing. Like,
What's your least favorite episode?
that's hard to say. I was gonna list another favorite.
I
Or a
have a
favorite group of
strong least
episode.
favorite.
What is it?
The one where they're old.
Yeah,
That one,
You know.
dude, that one made me aware of death, and I think that's where I started questioning my own mortality.
Hmm. Yeah, I can't at the moment think of a least favorite. I probably had least favorites when I was younger, but I just can't think of any now. Um, but another group of episodes that I like a lot now as an adult is the any Canker Sisters episode. I think it's just hilarious.
Did I tell you that the movie made me ruin my opinion of them as characters?
Really.
You remember the Big Picture movie, right?
Hmm.
Remember when Eddie's brother gets knocked out and they drag him into the trailer and close the
I was
door?
gonna I was gonna say, and you can if you have to, you can cut this. But didn't they rape Eddie's big brother?
I'm not gonna cut it because this is what I was saying. That scene made me aware of what rape was and made me know I don't want any part of that ever in my life. And it made me question them as characters. I watched them like, what are they like? I know what they want from the Eds now, but like I just couldn't. I just it sticks with me that that happened in Ed and Eddie.
I like the. I think it's the first Cankers episode with
The
their
sloppy
dad's
joes.
robes. Yeah,
Yeah.
drink Ed or Double D. Well, I can say Ed and it means any one of them. So Ed drinking his burger with a straw,
Yeah.
and how do you like our dad's robes? But it's dad's S apostrophe.
Yeah.
It's all of their individual dad's robes. They have Rob, Butch, and Roy. I think have the name tags on them. That's funny.
I also one of the things that always made me question it something was so Eddie's brother supposedly played a prank on Eddie to make them go to the trailer to you know go to the Cankers trailer. But
Hmm.
so if that was his prank, how long has the Canker sisters like been that way and like does and how old are they actually?
Well, there may have even been like another generation of Tanker sisters.
Have you
You know
ever
what I
seen
mean?
was it the Bro Show? Somebody made a pilot for their sequel that or their prequel to Ed and Eddie with Eddie's brother, and it
That
turns
sounds
out the
cool.
Cankers are his daughters,
Oh,
and
you know what? You
that's
know
why
what's
he
funny
had to
though?
leave.
What's funny is if the Cankers were boys, it would get like it couldn't happen.
Oh yeah, it
Now.
could not at all.
But what was I gonna say though? Oh, we can thaw it out at my house. My mom has a stove. um, yeah. So, okay. So we didn't really officially rank that, but we were both kind of assuming that it's probably A or close to it.
Yeah.
Um, I like it more than Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but that doesn't mean it's better than Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It's probably not as good as Foster's for a cartoon for kids. I don't know. I would put it in A probably. Um, and it's I definitely have
I'm
fond
perfectly
memories of it.
fine with A.
What I didn't like is when Jimmy's voice changed.
It did?
Yeah, yeah. Jimmy's first voice was totally different than later seasons. Um, I just think the first voice worked better for his character. It made him more like pitiful and believable too. Whereas the second voice was just falsetto. It was just somebody speaking in falsetto the whole time.
Now that you're actually pointing it out, I never realized that.
In fact, I think even his big dark episode, the big friends are there to help you one.
Yeah.
I think in that episode he already had the different voice, which wasn't as good, if I remember.
That episode used to scare me as a kid. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It came on a so I had this DVD that came from it came in a cereal box, I think, and it came with that episode of Ed and Eddie, the stakeout makeout episode of Kids Next Door, and I think an episode of Courage the Cowardly
No,
Dog.
That's funny because this guy had a baby for my cereal box. Actually, this guy had a Ouija.
Oh.
So, I guess we should do Kids Next Door next, huh?
Oh my
Since we just
god,
mentioned
yeah,
it.
dude. Storyline wise, oh my god, it's so amazing.
What's funny is I think we're gonna find that if we talk about a certain era, they're gonna just be A's,
Yeah,
and the ranking is more later. Like everything after that era is where it's all different. But like, it seems like everything from that era is an A for us.
yeah, that's why I made that like little disclaimer earlier.
Yeah. I would probably put Kids Next Door behind Foster's and Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, same
But
here.
but it's like this is all like arbitrary. Like I have no real point of like I'm not scientifically ranking these in any way. These are just like what I feel like I guess at the moment.
What do you
Because
feel
yeah,
about the sequel never happening?
it's disappointing that it never happened. I guess I didn't know much about the sequel to begin with.
You never heard about Galactic Kids Next Door?
I heard a little bit about it, but I didn't hear enough or become invested enough that I even realized that it didn't happen.
So, you mind if I tell you a little bit about it?
Yeah, do it.
So basically, number one is now working for the Galactic Kids Next Door, and they want to commit an adult genocide on Earth. Every adult dies, and
I see.
the teaser ends with him committing the act,
Wow.
and it leaves so many
Keepers.
questions.
Father's father smoked a pipe in that show.
Dude, most
I wonder if
under
you can even do that now.
I'm so disappointed in Kids Next Door Operation Zero. We didn't see Father go ham on Grandfather.
Father
That
was
bu-
a really cool villain.
Dude, that build up. You just made me angry. Very, very.
Yeah, he
Forget
was
it,
a
Monty.
scary
I'm gonna eat some Rocky Road.
cartoon villain for the time and for the age that we were watching it.
You know he's voiced
Like he
by the guy who played Brain in Pinky and the Brain.
isn't he also a voice in The Simpsons then?
Probably.
Isn't he the mailman from Olive the Other Reindeer?
Is he?
Well, he's the guy who does a lot of Simpsons voices.
I'm looking it up. Okay, so what do you where do you rank Olive the Other Reindeer as a cartoon movie?
S tier. That's not even on our list, but it's S tier. No, I don't know. I guess honestly, it'd have to probably be low. Something I enjoy ironically, but it's not that good. It's just funny because Steve Buscemi, which is actually how it's pronounced, by the way, as a penguin who sells fake Rolexes, that's funny. And Drew Barrymore as Olive, and I'm just thinking of what's her name from Family Guy, Brian's girlfriend. Who I can't think of for some reason.
Jillian?
Yeah, it's Jillian. Just hearing that voice, and I just picture Jillian, and it's funny.
The mailman is played by Dan Castellaneta, which is
Mhm.
who you're thinking of, but he's not
Yes.
who voices Brain or Father.
Hmm.
That's Maurice LaMarche.
Ah, okay. But yeah. Well, okay. I remember like the pilot for Kids Next Door, which was with Mr. Wink and Mr. Fib, right? With
I thought
the
the pilot
pool.
was the birthday cake.
Um.
Or am I
Well, it may. Well, wasn't didn't the pilot have two episodes, like two scenarios,
I don't
maybe?
remember.
Because I mean, all those cartoons back then had like every episode was like two episodes. You know what I mean?
It was?
A lot of them, yeah.
I
It was
didn't
like two
remember that.
situations, like within a 15-minute block or whatever you want to call it. There were two
Oh.
things. Like Billy and Mandy did that back in the early on and stuff, and Ed, Ed and Eddie did it. But I remember the one with the kiddie pool. You know,
And it turned out to be a robot.
Well, it was kind of like Adult Swim reference, like all kids out of the pool, and like why don't you go play in the kiddie pool? And the water was really warm and stuff.
Yeah.
But Mr. Wink and Mr. Fib were interesting. I want to say bosses for some reason, but villains, interesting villains. Um,
Grandma Stuff'em was cool.
yeah, it's
Oh
so
my
funny because
god.
now I would die for like I want to try Grandma Stuff'em's cooking.
Yeah, it makes it look so
Like
good.
like old country style, like a Eastern European food is just so like hearty looking and filling and like you know.
So, what would you say your favorite episode is of Kids Next Door?
Oof. I always forget as soon as it's actually asked. Um,
Let me tell you mine.
sure, yeah.
The detective episode with the nurse who's making muffins out of eye
Yes,
crusting.
yes, that was my favorite for a long time. I don't remember if I have another favorite, but that was a favorite.
That I think that's
Wait,
the episode that
we don't
made me
want
love
your
detective stuff.
we don't want your pink eye to turn into pink eye. Yeah, and I just remember number 86 because I had a crush on number 86 when I
She's
was
the
little.
redhead, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just remember that was the very end of the episode. He was like, "Where did you get the filling?" And then you see number 86 sneeze and is like freaking snot all over.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part.
Okay, Professor Triple Extra Large was not really a villain.
I don't remember who that is. I gotta look it up.
He always had a different disfigurement in each episode. Sometimes he had like a lobster claw, sometimes he had a turtle shell.
Right.
He was not really a villain. Everything he was always trying to do, at least to my memory, was something like cool or fun or good or something that kids would like either anyway, like making the perfect snow cone, for example. Like everything he was trying to do was always something fun or neat, and they just like had to stop him because he was an adult. He like wasn't ever doing anything like against children, if I remember correctly, and he was actually nice. Professor
Yeah.
Triple Extra Large was cool.
Yeah.
Another quick favorite moment was number one has to sleep for this big thing he has to do tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
And I like when number five like shushes Sticky Beard and he's like, "Arr."
uh so since you mentioned it, and I'm gonna mention the crossover first. The Grim Adventures of KND.
featuring Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah. I wanna say I wanna put that I wanna say it's not as good as
Well,
both shows.
I would think we can only rank crossovers against other crossovers.
Yeah.
Like, how does it stand up against the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour? I would say probably better.
You think that's better than Jimmy Timmy?
Probably.
I'm not sure.
But I mean, it's hard to say for me because I just don't think Fairly Odd Parents was like that good.
Before we rank Billy and Mandy, where do you rank Fairly Odd Parents?
Not at the bottom, but not that high.
I will
Um,
say I tried rewatching it last year and I couldn't get into it like I used to.
I I mean, I didn't like aspects of it when I was actually a kid, so I don't. Yeah, I just don't think it's that good. Maybe for a younger audience than I was when I was actually watching it. I don't know. I just didn't think it was that good. I thought it was kind of annoying. I thought Tara Strong, especially when I started to get used to like Tara Strong at being everywhere, and I was like, no, that's not Timmy Turner. That's Tara Strong. Like she just sounds like Tara Strong, and she's like the same character. So Billy and Mandy.
Yep, let's go Billy and Mandy.
Hey, I
A.
mean, yeah. This is not my beautiful house. Um, give me a banana.
Give me a
I mean-
banana. Give me a banana. Give me a banana.
Sometimes I substitute toenails. And the best line to me, my favorite moment. Are you having fun, Fred? Holy moly! My favorite.
Oh man, I hope we get the movie. Did you know about the movie that didn't get released?
No.
Maxwell Adams picked a movie that looked like it was Billy going into the future, and it got canceled. Well, it didn't get put into production because, and I quote, "We don't air Billy and Mandy, so why would we? Why would no? Why would kids even care about that?"
Hmm.
And now they're airing Billy and Mandy, so maybe Billy and Mandy the movie.
Of course, they're airing it on Adult Swim, though.
So maybe more adult Billy and Mandy. Yeah, but the only thing that came out of it was a drawing of Mandy as an adult, looking like the president, Grim with an M with a Mandy t-shirt, and Billy wearing a backpack, still being young. So it looked like Billy would be going to the future.
Do you have a favorite Billy and Mandy episode?
Dude, that is so hard to choose from.
Yeah.
I love the poet episode with the poet ghost that comes out of Billy's mouth. And of course, destroy us all! Destroy us all! Destroy us all!
Clowns hate Tangelos.
Who told you that? The janitor just awkwardly walks away.
I want the duck.
Oh, the farting duck, yeah. It's not me, Mon!
I beat the snot out of a guy for farting. Guard. What duck?
What?
Yeah, that was a good one. I mean, there's just so many. One episode I really, I don't want to say I didn't like, but it just made me feel really weird when I was little or when I was a kid. Was the one where with Mandy is like this giant space worm and Grim
Oh,
is like
yeah.
that one was weird to me when I was little. Just it was too much, I guess. I don't know.
That's another one of
But,
those episodes that made me aware of my mortality for some reason.
Mm.
There's always that weird episode in like most kids' cartoons that was like, oh yeah, I could die.
Camp Lazlo.
Oh my god, Camp Lazlo. I want to say A, but part of me wants to say B.
I was gonna say B too, just because
How?
I feel like I know there has to be a time when we stop giving A's out, and I feel like Camp Lazlo, though I liked it a lot, I can't pretend that it's on the same tier as Billy and
Yeah.
Mandy. So yeah, I'd say B.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Okay, one of the ones that I just seem to remember the most right now, is the Beef Lumberjacks episode. Another one was the one with the hot dog buns or the hot dogs, and each one of them makes a different ingredient for the hot dogs.
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, wow, I was trying to remember what that show episode was from. What show? I've been thinking about that for a long time.
Zing Zing. Yeah, there was a lot of good ones.
My favorite
One-
has to be when Edward wants to see the scary movie, but he's too young.
Remember when he was the shrub buddy?
Shrub Buddy, yeah.
Oh, shrub buddy. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like I can't remember many specifics anymore, but I know I liked Camp Lazlo. Oh,
Yeah.
a good joke is like they had to sleep on the stools at the Squirrel Scout camp because something happened to their camp, and they were complaining. You know, all these stools are so hard to sleep on, and Edward's like, just put a little stool softener on there, it'll soften right up. So yeah, one that pissed me off was the one with Samson like armoring himself with pillows and being a big dick to everybody.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like I wanted to beat the crap out of Samson.
It's always the nerds that make the worst bullies.
Flapjack.
I think it's got to be another B. It is a top tier show, but I don't doesn't have as many moments to me as the others do.
Yeah, it's one that I would want to give an A to. I think it was ahead of its time. Like I can't give it an A, and
Definitely
I
ahead
don't.
of its time.
It was ahead of its time. It was too much. It was too smart in ways for the era that it came out in, maybe. And programming for children didn't get any smarter either. So
Yeah.
it was just out of place. It was
I will say the art was amazing in that show.
so good, and they were doing things that we take for granted now, like those close-ups
Yeah, the
with sound,
stills.
like they did it in SpongeBob sometimes, But yeah, like the fully painted stills with the sound effect, like oh, like those moments, and they started to do things like Adventure Time ripped off Flapjack so much with a lot of moments, and
Well, you know why that is, right?
sure,
So basically, Gumball, Flapjack was the breeding ground for some of the modern creators. One
yeah, I know.
being the guy who made Adventure Time, who worked on a lot of the
Yeah,
episodes.
I know. And I remember that before Adventure Time came out, while it was being hyped up, there was that commercial with the kid dressed as Finn running around saying, "What time is it? What time is it? What time is it?" And then at the end, when it would say Adventure Time, I thought they were making a huge Flapjack reference.
Ah,
Because Flapjack's catchphrase was adventure.
adventure.
So, but yeah, Flapjack was really good. It was ahead of its time. Can't give it an A, but yeah. Real live official junior trolley hat. 2 pieces of candy, etc.
um, what do you think of Courage the Cowardly Dog?
It has to be higher than Flapjack. For some reason I don't want to give it an A. Because I know it declined a lot in later seasons. It changed a lot. Um, like the first couple seasons, I don't remember where it ends exactly. I have the box set. I have to look at it again because I don't remember. But it just changed a lot after a while, and there was a reason for that, as far as I remember. And I think also they changed the art style a little too, if I remember, but I don't remember. They changed aspects of Courage's behavior and how he talks and things like that.
The things I
Maybe,
do for love.
maybe it was about when Eustace's voice changed. I also don't remember. But I know there are so many iconic ones from the early seasons that are just absolutely iconic. I mean, Return the Slab, Cat's Motel. I mean, you know.
I know we said we'd rank crossovers against crossovers, so can I do one?
Yeah.
Scooby Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a good crossover.
Really? It
Well,
wasn't great, but I enjoyed it for what it
Eustace's,
was.
they didn't have original Eustace voice.
Well, they couldn't.
I thought it was,
Both
yeah,
of them died.
I know. Eustace and Muriel?
Both Eustace's voice actors died.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize he had two
Well,
before.
Muriel's voice actor died after.
Because I was gonna say it was really sweet hearing hearing Muriel's voice actor play Muriel again after all this time.
Yeah, one
That was
final
really
role.
cool. But I mean, I also just I didn't really see the whole thing anyway, or I didn't see much of it. Maybe it was on. It was like airing over and over for a while, and I had it on in the background sometimes, but I didn't like actually watch it. I saw Eustace's rap, which I don't know, and it's not like it's a crossover with original Scooby Doo, like the first ever iteration of Scooby Doo. It's not a crossover with that. It's a crossover with like a current iteration of Scooby Doo, which I don't, you know, I
Actually,
don't
if you're
really.
counting that, technically it is the first Scooby Doo. The current Scooby Doo is still the same Scooby Doo.
I'm not talking about the actor who played Scooby Doo. I'm talking about the show itself, like the whole show, the art style and the music.
Yeah, they
and
did
everything.
the movie. They did the movie style.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't. I want to put it in A, but I feel like it deserves a high B.
Like, I'm willing to believe that it's better than the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, but I
Oh,
just haven't
I
really.
meant Courage itself. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, but
My bad. Yeah, yeah. I meant the
still on the
crossover.
crossover, still
I
on the
want to say
cross.
C.
Yeah, like I don't know how it compares to the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. Like, I don't think it's as good as the Billy and Mandy crossovers, but
I don't. I wouldn't. I would say it's below both.
I remember Sheen was flat and then he was bulgy. But
Yeah.
um, but yeah. So I would rank Courage definitely up high, really high. But like, was it consistently as good as Billy and Mandy all the time?
That's the thing. I don't think. I think it has its moments where it fell off at times. So
And
I'd say
I
high
think
B.
at like the last season, if I remember, because I don't fully remember, but I think the last season, or maybe it was 2 seasons of Courage, were consistently not living up to the previous ones.
I feel the same.
But so yeah,
Did you want to do another, or do you want to start
yeah,
closing
keep
out?
going.
Okay. Um, Samurai Jack.
How would you rank it?
Low B.
Um, yeah, I can't rank it too high personally because I was never really that big of a fan of it. But I know that a lot of people like it and that it's really good, I guess. So
It's coming off of this. Comes from someone who it's one of his favorite cartoons.
I
So
liked.
I would say low. So low B.
I think I liked My Life as a Teenage Robot better. Um, I liked the Powerpuff Girls better. I liked the original Star Wars Clone Wars 2D better. So, yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't a big Samurai Jack guy. I think I was when I was much younger, but it wasn't one of the ones that I ended up being into.
Okay. Where would you rank My Life as a Teenage Robot?
I don't know, C or higher.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. What'd you think of the movie that they had?
I don't know if I realized that there was a movie.
It might just been special. She went to the planet where all the bug people came from.
Yeah, I don't remember. Um, okay, I can distinctly remember the most weird episode for me, and it might be the same exact one for you. It might be the same one for a lot of people.
The skin suit.
The skin suit. That's the one.
Yup. Gave me nightmares.
Yes. Um. Okay, I can't talk about whatever happened to Robot Jones because I don't remember it enough.
Me either.
Same with Chalk Zone. Don't remember it enough. I watched it a lot when I was that age,
Me
but I
too.
don't remember. I don't remember it enough. Rudy Tabooty. I remember one. I remember one actual line other than Rudy Tabooty from Chalk Zone. It's like it thinks I'm chalk dust because I am chalk dust. That's like the only thing I remember. Um, Johnny Bravo.
Oof. Where would you rank Johnny Bravo?
When I was younger, I probably wouldn't have ranked it too high. It was not that important to me, except the Christmas special.
I love the
Every
Christmas special.
the that Christmas special to me blends with the Powerpuff Girls Christmas special. Like they're so closely, and they just overlap to me. Um, like they're equally as good, I guess. I would think maybe. I don't remember now, but I like the Christmas special definitely. The show itself, Johnny Bravo, I wasn't huge fan of when I was younger, but now looking back, it's funny because it's almost satirical. Maybe it is satirical. I don't know. It's funny. It's it's good. So I'd rank it high. I don't know how high. B.
I'd say B. I kind of want to put the Powerpuff Girls and Johnny Bravo at the same place.
Yeah. And I know we're into a different era now than Billy and Mandy kind of. I know that like there was overlap a lot of the time, but there was there's some overlap with some of these, but I know like Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home, Ed, Edd n Eddy are kind of an era, even though Foster's Home is like a later part of that same era. Johnny Bravo and Powerpuff Girls are a little before. But okay, so thinking of seeing a guy like that hold up a mirror and say, "Man, I'm pretty." That is just so funny. Because it's like if you can act like that ironically, that's a good joke to do in public. I mean, to act like that in front of somebody is really funny if you can pull it off without actually looking like you're really a dick. You know what I mean? I keep feeling like we're missing a ton, obviously, and I want to acknowledge all of them or a lot of them. I know we didn't touch on Adventure Time, a regular show yet. Interestingly, I think
Yeah.
we're working back more, and we left those ones out. There's also the Hi Hi Puffy Amayumi show, which is obviously the most important cartoon ever.
Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Teen Titans.
We could
Yeah.
always do a part 2 if you want.
Hell, yeah, I'm up for it.
Yeah, because I figured we're going on an hour now, so I figured because to close out.
Sure. So yeah, stick around for part 2.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you're ready for part 2. Maybe it'll be next time. Maybe we'll have something else planned for you. But hope you enjoyed watching. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.